Hello, everyone. Beyond Science Italy welcomes you to a special segment of our channel called In the Spotlight. In this section, we shine a light on a particular topic, a YouTube channel, or an important figure in the Italian alternative world. The themes discussed here may appear to diverge from the usual scientific subjects covered by our channel, but they can provide a clearer understanding of the contemporary Italian alternative culture. The star of the first episode of In the Spotlight is the channel Cracmal. This isn't one of the most followed channels in Italy, but it's certainly one of our favorites. It typically covers topics like the Great Tartary, the mud flood, and the existence of giants. However, the approach of this channel is very original. The videos almost always consist of a series of images, often quite rare, that follow the theme of the episode, and the narrating voice has an almost philosophical approach that is very pleasant to listen to. In today's episode, we will fully translate one of the most philosophical videos published by Cracmal, What Life Really Is. We will explore the others, those more closely related to scientific themes and alternative theories, in future episodes. Today, we wanted to start this segment with a video that introduces the channel Cracmal to our English-speaking audience and highlights its cultural depth. Enjoy watching. Let's start from the beginning. Naturally, someone has said that through procreation, we drag lives onto Earth into the valley of suffering, into the desert of corruption. Has anyone ever been asked before birth if they wanted to come here to this hell? But your parents wanted a child, and here is a child of coincidences. Conceived at a certain hour, perhaps in the evening or in the morning, in a certain month of a certain year. You are born in tears. Now they bring you home from the hospital with a tag. Yesterday, births happened at home. Overbearing parents at the beginning. You are too hot, too cold, they don't know. You eat too much, your head is bursting, they don't know. You cry. After a few months, the injections come. No one knows what they're adding to you. You receive them, they say, to preserve your life, as if the one you have isn't enough. And God sees nothing. Childhood. Shock for 3, 4, 5 years. You don't remember anything later, just a vague memory of a place, a smell, but nothing more. You have to hope for conscientious parents so you don't fall from the crib or during a bath and don't have a cruel brother. You must rely on the help of some grandparents to overcome the inexperience of your parents. Then the stories of war and migrations, witches and werewolves, the struggle for self-assertion in kindergarten and school, bossy classmates, bullies, intrusive relatives, teachers who yell and mold you like a puppet, compressing you. You must conform and fit in. You think it's normal, that it's all regular. You don't yet know that the parasites and black-souled priests omnipresent have already created the web. Some small acquaintances remain by the roadside, one falls from a cliff, and one drowns in the lake. You're already a survivor. Parents are busy with work. You're in no man's land, waiting for the years to pass. Elementary school, high school, maybe university. Difficult relationships, sad birthdays, imitating richer classmates because you're not rich either. Which family do you come from? How should you dress? You feel like a rebel. Parents argue. You don't understand their sacrifices for the washing machine, the fridge. With TV, alienation begins. You lose contact with others. You're alone. Obsessive thoughts of sex block everything else, pushing everything else aside. Frustrating experiences, wrong approaches, a girl at the cinema, at the dance. The repetition begins. Time flies. Youth protests, 68, Vietnam, napalm. The Americans have met your masters. You want to take revenge, but you don't know on whom or what. Newspapers add fear. Music makes you feel better. High school, arrogant teachers and classmates. You discover politics, understand something, society needs to change. Graduation arrives, a job or university is needed. You start smoking, drink a beer, then another. The external environment conditions you. They show you the moon landing, and you believe it. Then a driver's license, a motorcycle, a used car, a girlfriend, jealousy, a breakup. You feel bad. Grandparents die. You feel sad for a while, but you don't really know what you've lost. A trip is needed, a vacation. You dream of a degree, a decent job, a house in the suburbs with children. Friends take different directions. You withdraw, get married. Someone described love like this. You say you love me, and I know I can't believe you because I, who love you so much, don't love you enough. But it is still love that initially hides the economic problems, the unreachable stability, the worries you don't say. You read books, buy more books to delve into the same lies. You think there is a solution somewhere, but there isn't. Only attempts. No one knows anything about anything. You acquire a pseudo-intellectual veneer, write poetry, some themes involve you, but you don't know what to believe in, what to hope for. Perhaps you can avoid the mistakes of others, but it isn't so. You end up retracing the same path. You begin to make speeches you didn't want to hear before. The revolution is over, the risorgimento is over. You realize that even history is an invention, just like religion and democracy that comes to us from Greece. But the gods were not democratic and came from Hyperborea. Renaissance, rebirth, but what does it mean? Risorgimento, rising from the grave, what is it referring to? What is being talked about? You read more books, intuit some things. The shape of the earth, but who believes you? You discover that the world is another world, and until recently there were giants, but it's still America that rules. Lies. There is no God, at most a creator of domes. But why fill it with so many parasites and so many clones? You look in the mirror. Who are you really? Those who have children don't have time to look in the mirror. You discover you are sensitive. You didn't know, but who are you really? You begin to sense the matrix on TV and in newspapers, seeing the same characters year after year. The untouchables, the hypocrites, the weeping sadists. You decide you can't trust official news, so you start researching online. Geography is all different. You collect some photos of anomalies, some postcards. You discover that stones teach you true things. They speak of ancient civilizations, but now even the internet has turned into a demented landfill. So there's nothing real anymore, just a tsunami of words, even misinformation. Everyone expects words. There is nothing to do but add words. You don't believe in anything or anyone. But does solidarity really exist? You discover an artistic vein, you paint, write, furnish your home, but you are transferred. Another step forward happens with pain. This experience opens your mind. It is pain that determines who you are and your worth. Many things start not making sense. One man made 100 statues, it can't be true. Meanwhile, the sun seems whiter, closer, and faster, but who do you tell this to? No one bats an eye. And do astronomers really exist? Repetition. Problems pile up. You think back to yourself as a child. Where have they all gone? Where are you? You remember a poem, My First Love, a blue butterfly that flew into the sky. You hardly remember it anymore. Then your generation too reaches the point of no return. A war. Collective hysteria. Science is only religion, a black magic enemy infecting everyone. Now you know for sure there are parasites. In fact, saying parasites is now too little. They are alien enemies who want to erase you, men, even if they call it an act of love. You are a guinea pig for multinationals. Many still think ours isn't a dictatorship because they say you can talk about everything without being persecuted or eliminated. But now ostracism travels on the internet. There's a risk of apologizing for something the system doesn't like or denying something the system does. The information apparatus is managed by categories you can't name, and to describe some things you must use circumlocutions. The dictatorship has evolved. It has become sanitary. If they still let you talk, it's because in this way you increase their power, their invincibility. Control over ideas is now total. They make presidents, judges, writers. They create culture, and you can't even doubt it. You don't exist if you don't conform, and you must always be a poor, sick person. You discover there's also a museum somewhere celebrating the injection. Finally, there's the awakening. The awakening. The spark ignites, but for every awakened person, there are thousands of children being indoctrinated every hour. So, what good is it to be awakened? Even awakening has strange aspects. You can aspire to truth and wisdom, but at the same time, you cannot prevent evil from feeding on earth. You can't force everyone to be better. Meanwhile, the secret masters of our lives program them. They have their agendas and use actors to carry out their will. At the same time, 500 billion bits of information per second suffocate the ether and transform our consciousness. The Matrix may not be like in the movie, but it is real, like an amniotic etheric liquid made of billions of bits of trash information that make you incapable of personal decisions. It forces you into a kind of metaphysical sleep. in which clones, avatars, demons, strange presences, and holograms take form. It is a set of artificial programs, perhaps created by Lucifer himself thousands of years ago. It is a fog, a darkness that prevents you from seeing what is happening around you. It is difficult to escape this flattening, and after awakening begins an even thornier path, because you realize not only that you live in a false system, but that the system will never let you go in peace, whether you want it or not. Now, fear is the new philosophy of life. Some have managed to escape this cycle, but the next one will be much more pressing, war or epidemic, and many will remain. The TV actors will do the rest to persuade the population to believe in the necessary self-destruction. So what value does your awakening have? It is only survival and self-preservation. Now you aim for retirement. Your children are far away, or you didn't have children, but nothing matters much anymore. There is the ritual of the supermarket, of food supplies, then an illness, a Ukrainian caregiver from Zhytomyr who lost a son at the gates of Bakhmut. The end is approaching. You are no longer useful to anyone. You look at the funeral posters, another one is gone. Better to stop here. Meanwhile, the enemies of humanity prepare another war. But yes, let's have this war now. It is the Russian infidel who, by taking away our oil, extinguishes all the candles.